I think we're live. Either way we gonna go. I think we're live. Either way we gonna go. It's season 2. Marley Minded Podcast. I am Young Goob. God, we in the building. I'm looking at all type of stuff. Just decided to do this thing, y'all. Just decided to do this thing. Whoever you are, hit that like button, that subscribe button. We getting it in. We jumping into the mind of Young Goob. God. We got a couple special guests who might be coming through. One definitely in the building. One time, we back. Go ahead and get this thing started. Trying to see if I'm live. And I am. Word up. Yes. Season 2 of the Marley Minded Podcast. Once again, I am Young Goob. God, I decided to go ahead and start this thing right now. I order. You know what I'm saying? It's been a while since I've been on here doing the podcast thing. People was like, Goob, where you been? We missed the podcast. And I was kind of taken back a little bit by the fact that people even cared enough to ask me where you been. You know what I'm saying? Usually I get a lot of information about what you've been eating and that you need to work out with me. But it's good to hear that you wanted to come in or be a part of the community and see what the kid got to say about whatever is going on in this world. Now, as you can see, a couple things have changed. No, I do not have on a shirt. It is not a blip on your radar. I'm tired of looking for stuff to put on these things. I'm in the house. I feel the most comfortable way for me to do these things is to do what I do. And this is how I get down. So we're not going to delay the situation much further. We got some viewers in the building. Thanks for coming through. See if I can get all of this comment stuff popping off. Go ahead and leave some comments down there. Without any further ado, we bringing my dog in up there in Tally. Anthony Tony Vias, the soul music writer. Just about to get it. Bring you in. No more playing. And how you doing?
Chilling. Hold on.
While Ann is getting herself together, we've been talking about the fact that it's been time for us to come back and reestablish ourselves. And we've had some hiccups. I know personally I've had some hiccups of things that made me kind of slow down for putting myself out there. But those times are over, as you can see. And me and Ant been having conversations back and forth about Pulitzer Prizes and this whole thing jumping off and just the opportunity to get your feet wet, jump in those waters and start to swim like you want to swim. You know what I'm saying? So we back on our grind. We doing what we do. We living this life. And how you been since the last time we checked in with you?
I've been chilling, man. Enjoying life, enjoying the show. One of the things that brought me joy is the fucking Locks and Dipset verses.
Oh yeah, that is the topic of today's most part.
I know we like 2 weeks, 2 weeks removed, but
yeah, they ain't heard what we say about it, so it don't matter.
Nah, I talked to so many people who kind of just got put on to what we already knew, which was Jadakiss is a beast, the Locks are beasts. And Dipset, they're great. Like they're great. But what I was talking to a couple of my partners about is just like, them boys came up through Diddy. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, how you may feel about them, no matter, what problems they may have had, Diddy is all about showmanship.
Right.
And they showed that time with him, obviously they haven't been with Diddy in years. So, but obviously they took something away from that time, which is showmanship, stage presence. And that just was something that Dipset didn't have. And they I don't know, they came out kind of like subtle. Like I feel like a lot of the music they played toward the end, I really mean it. Shit like that. Cam ain't really get into his catalog like he should have. Jim Jones ain't really get that deep in his catalog. Santana did. Like they just kind of played all their commercial shit, but they was in New York. So it's like, in New York, motherfuckers gonna know they deep cuts. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the Locks kind of had them. Like when they did Fuck You, when they opened up with Fuck You, that's the first song on the We Are the Streets album. So It was like it was the perfect opening, and they set the tone. And Jadakiss just had so much energy. I don't even think I ever seen that dude that amp like that. He really showed it, like that whole New York aggressive. He was on that. He told Cam, "Shut the fuck up, man. Like, let me do this."
So for me, I've seen it a couple times. I've heard people synopsis on it. I've heard people analysis on the situation. And I know from the first 3 minutes of me watching it, I knew it was the varsity versus the JV.
Off top.
It was the varsity starters versus the cats who made the JV team. I ain't gonna try Dipset and say they trying out for the JV team.
Right.
But it was the varsity versus JV. It was professional rappers, professional MCs up there versus a group of cats who made songs that people got who like. You know what I'm saying? Cam, not a super lyricist, but got songs that we give him credit for writing on. Jewel's not a super lyricist, but we give him credit for songs that he ride on.
Yeah.
Jim Jones, not a super lyricist, but we give him credit for songs he ride on. They did not do their job of writing on them songs that we like and got washed by a set of professional MCs. So when we go back to the Puff Daddy thing, the back that Puff Daddy, because that's when the bad boy days were, he was the Berry Gordy of hip hop.
Yeah.
Like you were performing, you were doing the things that you needed to do in order to be a performing artist. You weren't just somebody who had a song in their living room, you know what I'm saying? And it's different than how it has been over the past 8 to 10 years where people just get on. These are professional MCs, all of them over the age of 40, all of them still monsters on the mic, all of them still dropping high quality hip hop in the 2020s. So it was just people who've been doing it, like they say, who in them streets, who outside, who in the mud, who whatever analogy you want to put on it, who's still active, versus people who do a good job of putting on a show but don't do a very good job of playing the game.
Yeah. And that was I was amazed how Jadakiss remembered all that shit. Just strictly.
It was that. He said it early. He was like, "I'm on the baddies." Every line, dog. He took a break because he wanted to take a break, not because he didn't know anything.
He knew the Dipset lyrics. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. That nigga legit had like a Rain Man moment.
He was,
yeah, he had a Rain Man moment. And people like, okay, so I like Sheek. Like I'm a Sheek fan. People don't give Sheek enough credit when you talk about the locks. You mostly talking about Styles because he's super gritty, and Styles got like one of my favorite songs, and it ain't even, and it's like during the Bad Boy era off their first album, he got the song called "Not to Be Fucked With," and that shit is.
I just listened to that album this week,
bruh. That album is actually really really good.
Yep.
And then, but I'm a Sheek fan, but I feel like they kept telling Sheek like, man, do your own song, like you. But it don't matter. Like y'all was there as a group. Y'all wasn't there as solo acts. You know what I'm saying? So don't deflect by what we doing. Cause like Jada said, man, y'all niggas could have said it. Y'all can't listen to Apple Music if y'all wanted to hear these niggas rap over the music. Like they was doing karaoke.
They weren't even doing karaoke. Karaoke. Read the words. At least you read the words of karaoke. I know because I'm a star.
Yeah.
But they were unprepared. Yeah. Like when Jadakiss was like, actually, I felt like some of it might have been set up because they was like throwing alleys to the locks. He was like, "Y'all, do y'all even like girls?" Yeah. And then it's like, hit up with the napalm ball, the napalms with every girl track, and then you forget that these cats been around for 25 years.
And that's what I'm thinking too. Like they could have Santana could have made that statement. Literally forgetting, because when you think of the locks, you think like gritty street shit. Right. So he could have made that statement, literally forgetting that these niggas got songs with Mariah Carey
and J-Lo
and J-Lo, you know what I'm saying?
And Mary.
and married.
And
So,
God knows who else that we can't just call out the top of your head is they've been recording for 25 years. They probably got songs with Total. They got songs with Biggie. So going back to being professional MCs, I was listening to Jada back on the Locks and comparing him to what he do today. He is one of the best MCs at speaking clearly,
mm-hmm.
not putting a whole bunch of words mumbled together that it's hard to determine what he's saying. He clear in his delivery and he in his word choice. That's what makes it a god. What makes him a god MC. But he has been from the beginning just this same. It's just it was magnificent to watch as somebody who was playing the Locks in their car. You know what I'm saying? Features back when they first got a car, then they got an album, and they are part of the Great 98, which is going to be another podcast exclusive. We're going to run through this thing. But
let me say one more thing too. So when they was performing, um, there's a song Jada Kids did off the first Locks album, because on that album each of them had their own solo joints, and Jada joint was All for the Love. And when he was performing that, they had like the comments, scrolling through, and Drake jumped in that thing and said, "Man, this is one of my favorite songs of all time." And that All for the Love, that's the joint where Jada say, "Niggas know the line of work, bulletproof designer shirt, rolling with a China doll, she'll be reminding y'all." Like the production on that shit, that is literally like one of my favorite Jada. We are like that fucking Locks album that they released on Bad Boy. The most commercial shit on that shit was If You Think We Jiggy, which was the first single.
yeah,
But 24 Hours to Live,
they got the album. I'm looking at it right now.
that's the first time I heard DMX, honestly, was on that album, because he was on 24 Hours to Live. And it was just like, I don't know. It's a good album. Like, I think it's a really good album, dog.
It's a very we actually gonna do a breakdown of that album when we get into the year, the Great 98, greatest year, the second or probably second the first greatest year in hip hop.
Money, Power, and Respect, not 24 Hours to Live. That was
right.
Black Rob.
Money, Power. I mean, 24 Hours to Live was I believe a Black Rob song, but Money, Power, Respect was.
Yeah, that was the first time I heard DMX, and then It's Dark and Hell Is Hot came not too long after that.
Yeah. So like with Dipset, like because of the way Dipset came out, and two very New York heavy groups, like both of them identify heavy with the New York persona, but different aspects of the coin, or different sides of the same coin. Dipset was that side of the coin that I did not vibe with, that aspect of New York that I did not get along with. I guess I was more of the, I don't want to call it gritty, because they definitely not dirty, gritty like that, but I wasn't enough for the show. Like the whole, when Santana came out with 67 headbands, the big jacket, he might as well had a jump rope and a whistle, you know what I'm saying, out there. He looked ridiculous. But it flipped back to a time that I used to laugh at cats that looked like that all the time. So when they came out, I never took them seriously. Every song that they had that I thought was good that they played was like, that's NWA over again. That's Master P over again. That was like, I wasn't giving them much credit at all back in the day. And then when they did that, I was like, I'm still not giving y'all much credit because y'all putting on a show and ain't out here in a competition. This is literally now at this point, you can't come on and have a versus and be friendly anymore.
Nah, that set the tone. That's just some R&B shit.
Can't set it cannot be like a friendly thing anymore where we just gonna celebrate these two artists. They gonna celebrate them, but it's gonna be like a wrestling match. Somebody getting hit in the head with a chair, somebody getting tossed over the front rope. We throwing our hands to the crowd. You know what I'm saying? It got to be electrifying, and people got to come there with the intentions on dropping bombs, not like Rick Ross and 2 Chainz. That is like way like did shit like that dead.
I thought the Jeezy Gucci was gonna set that tone, but I'm happy the way the Gucci and Jeezy went. You
They
know what
might not need it to be the ones.
I'm
Just
saying? No, nah, hell no,
we
hell
need
no.
to rectify situations before they got
And
busy.
I'm a Dipset fan. Like I am a fan. Like I love Diplomatic Community. You know, I love the SDE, the second Cameron album. I love Confessions of Fire, the first Cameron album. Like they have like if you sit down and like eat like no bullshit, Jim Jones' latest run, like his solo shit, like he got the joint with Harry Fraud, the Fraud Department, and
Yeah,
like those are fucking great albums. And,
right.
that's what I was hoping. I was hoping that they was gonna
But
allow Jimmy to
yeah,
be that.
but see, they weren't prepared to do that. They came there with beach chairs and
It was
big
a fashion show.
shows. And then Jim Jones, sneakerhead, famous sneakerhead, wears low top 12s. That
I thought those was highs. Those was low 12s.
I think they was low top
Nah,
12.
I think they was high, bro. Those was high
So they was wearing big 12. So he was wearing taxi 12 like that.
12. Taxi 12.
I think that's what the Jits call them, not them taxis.
Taxi 12s, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They black, they white and black 12s to me. But
Yeah.
even that part of it, dog, like I was like disappointed, dog. I was not
Jada came out of some Timbs.
right. He came classic, like T-Pain say, tear your ankle up boots.
Hey, when Jada came out with them Timbs and them shorts on, I thought about Reese. Remember Maurice from Philly?
Yep.
He used to always be in shorts and Timbs, dog.
Hooping in them things. If
Hooping in them things. And a nigga from Florida, I was looking at that shit like, boy, that shit look hot.
you know, I had a cinnamon pill. I ain't had a construction color. I had a cinnamon pill when I went to Tally. But they was too heavy to wear up and down them hills. They did not get maybe 2 wells, boy. 2.
That's why niggas up north got strong calf muscles, boy. That shit there is nuts. But yeah, for the most part, I think I enjoyed the verses. I think it was good. I think it was a moment for New York. And I know a lot of New York heads appreciated it because the only thing you've been hearing right now is that fuck when New York gonna get it back. Like it's the South, it's the South, it's the South, it's the South. Like everything is the South.
Even their style is Southern. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
even their style is Southern.
Their style is Southern. So it's like, who are you really nowadays?
Yeah, when I saw the pride in Fat Joe when they played "I'm from New York" and Jada did his verse, I was just like
proud. I was proud from, and not that like proud of being from New York. I was proud of the music that came out of New York at that time. That it was still so hard, dog.
But then niggas from Florida produced it because Cool and Dre produced the bitch.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So.
It and that's the thing about it. It's behind the scenes. It's a big soup. It's a big soup of regions that's putting this stuff together. The front get the name.
Yeah,
it's a whole bunch of people working together to make that stuff happen. But yeah, the Locks dominated. I gave Cam. So when I went back and listened to it, the beginning, like I don't know if the one I saw was all the way because I saw it on YouTube. I didn't see it that night that it happened. I watched the YouTube cut. Because when I started watching, they was late. Like,
yeah, it was super late.
Yeah,
it was super on nigga time.
Yeah, I was like, what are they doing? Then I started doing something else and I'm asleep. So when I saw it was on YouTube and they had already got there. So I think I missed maybe that first one because that one, the first one, the intro you was talking about, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when I saw it, when I started watching it, it was before Jada was telling them, you know what I'm saying, we gonna go back and forth, and he was trying to get him to quiet down.
He did Who Shot You when he did his Who Shot You freestyle.
Yeah, before that, like I saw the parts leading up to that.
Yeah.
But it was just like on the rewatch, the Locks ain't take off. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, you could have easily had it 2-1 the Locks or 2-1 Dipset, depending on your flavor, because nobody had really taken off.
Yeah.
After Jada did that freestyle verse, that Who Shot You verse, then the tide started to turn heavily into the Locks' favor. It's like they got organized and it was like, all right, boom, jump in this bag and we gonna run this thing. Like you say, all the Chic verses, that's what I want to touch on. Like Chic don't have any classic album that we can look at and be like, oh, this Chic album is one of the top albums and whatever, top 100. You know what I'm saying? Or however you want to put it. But verses and voices,
and voices.
when you hear him in doing the ad libs or telling to come on and like he sound like the DJ to that joint.
Yeah. He got a very distinct voice. Really, all three of them do, and that's what makes them.
Three of them, right?
All three of them do.
That, and he is also a professional MC, like very crisp in what he's saying. There's no like tongue twisters where it's hard to figure out that you getting ripped. No, it's live and clear, loud and clear.
Remember when the Gangsta and the Gentleman came out, and I remember I got that bitch and you and Clint and Lionel, we y'all living in that townhouse, and I remember falling through that bitch. That shit was the hardest album.
Yes.
Dog, that Gangsta and the Gentleman is such a great album, and it was like I was already hyped for a Styles solo album because remember now, Styles used to do a lot of shit with sound bombing, and one of my favorite songs was with him and Pharoah Monch, the My Life, that J. Cole and Maury just recently, revitalized for the J. Cole album. But I was just fucking with that sound bomb and shit. Like, he was on a lot of them albums, but that joint when I heard with him and Pharoah Monch, and I'm a Pharoah Monch fan, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, I just, like, he's just a fucking great rapper. Like, he's a great, like, Jadakiss is obviously he's the star of the group.
He's the lead man.
He's the lead man.
He's the lead man.
And them niggas is some funny niggas. So I already knew, like, so all the dialogue and shit between songs, like, the Lox get the best interviews. Like, that shit is great. Yeah. I already knew
got comfortable. It's like, once again, hitting back to, it's been 25 years. They're comfortable in who they are. They set it down early. Like, they got songs with Biggie, early songs. Like, the Lox album got We'll Always Love Big Papa on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they was there for all of that. They was there for the glory days of Bad Boy.
And Bad Boy.
Bad Boy and hip hop as a whole. So they've seen it. They've made it through. They've watched it change back and forth. And still, they've been people who have been highly regarded for their talent in this culture. It's undisputed. So like when they get out there and do it on a versus, and people who haven't seen them because they're not heavy mainstream. If you're in the culture, then they mainstream, but they're not mainstream really outside the culture. So you might not know them like you know Chance the Rapper.
Right. You know but they've been very visible. Like, since they came out, you've never at one point wondered, like, damn, what the Lox doing? Like, damn, what Jada doing? What Styles doing? And then the other component to that is just their whole, one thing I was noticing, like, breath control, stamina.
Professionals.
That juices for life shit, the shit that Styles on, the Farmer for Life, and one of all the brothers to get healthy, and him sending out kits to everybody. Even Jim Jones recently came out and, talked about having COVID and all of that. And I was looking at the comments, and Jadakiss was like, yo, take that kit that P sent you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to get right. And they really on their health shit. Them boys aging backwards. A lot of the niggas we grew up with, they aging backwards.
Yeah,
50 don't look 50 no more. Like Jay, Puff,
no,
they just make 50 look different.
Yeah, 50 ain't 50 like it used to be. I've been watching older stuff. Like, I've been watching 227.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Marla Gibbs still look good as fuck too. And I think she's 90. 90. Yeah.
90. Pearl was 90 when she passed. So Lester was like 40 something, like 43 on the show.
Lester was on Good Times, nigga. He was.
Yo, wait till I tell you about this. Don't let me forget about Carl from Family Matters.
Yeah.
So, but Lester was around my age when he was filming, 227. I look at me and Lester, I'm like, dog, Lester, I would dust you, boy. You are not the same, brother. You know what I'm saying? Lester ain't look bad. Now, I use a lot of those cats like old, dusted up men. But me at 42 and Lester at 42, we ain't the same thing, dog. We are not the same thing at all.
Look at that 227 when you jits. Like when we was jits and you look at Lester, you like, damn, Like in your mind, he like this nigga like 50 something.
Yeah, you think he
Like thick mustache, you know, nigga look like one of the whispers or something. But when you think about it,
he was a young man.
he was a young man, and he only looked old to us because we were so fucking young at the time. You know, just like Nick, it's weird. Like it's a weird place to be in when you talk to niggas and they like. Of course, a lot of young dudes they fucking with the young rappers. They fucking with Gunna and they fucking with Lil Baby and all that. But niggas ain't looking at Jay-Z like they daddy. You know what I'm saying? At 51.
No.
Niggas ain't looking at Diddy like they daddy at 51. And you could say it's the money, but at the end of the day, nah, it's you could have money and still
it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle change.
Lifestyle change.
Yeah, it affords you. We done seen recent pictures of Hov and Tata out walking. You know what I'm saying?
Because there's plenty of cats with money who look rough.
Look rough, dog. Like it don't matter. So
rough.
that makes like getting older, like that makes getting older feel different. You know what I'm saying? Like my brother 48. That nigga don't look 48. You know what I'm saying? That nigga look like he could be in his 30s. You know what I'm saying? But it's just different. And I don't know if it's like, and then you looking at these niggas at 50 and niggas still wearing sneakers, niggas still wearing hoodies, niggas still wearing.
I still look 19 when I put on my clothes. Sometimes you need to change the wardrobe up, dog, because you right here looking like you still fly like you 19. But I cannot put on clothes for the sake of putting on clothes for a particular. It just don't work for me. And I realize that certain people, people who do that because that's for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They age that way. They age that way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to age the way that I age. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful that I have the situation I'm able to live that right now, so I can age the way that I age. You know what I'm saying? I just ain't got no what it is, no serum or nothing in the back to just keep me. It definitely take an effort.
Right.
But that I give me a product that I'm proud of. So once again, 42 don't mean Lester, we ain't the same, y'all. And
I was watching this old interview with Currency, and the nigga was like, I hate wearing jeans. He was like, I hate wearing, and every time, and now when you see the nigga, he only in sweatpants and shorts and that's it.
Yeah, like his life doesn't require him to do anything outside of that. And if he wants to do something outside of that, then he does. I had to realize that my life doesn't require me to have all of this. Like, I don't need a bunch of suits myself. I'm not a suit and tie person. I'm not just throwing on a collar shirt, a dress shirt to be like, oh, I'm clean.
Nah.
No, I'm gonna find other creative ways to be clean and be fly.
It's like remember us doing. It's like a nigga go to a flight or go to the moon, and I'm gonna be in a polo shirt and some jeans, but then I'm gonna go in that bitch and it's gonna be niggas in there trying to be super sexy. Like they gonna have on the motherfucking button up with the chest out, with the chains on, with the motherfucking chinos on.
I used to call the linen suit when I used to go out here. Well, when I was even when I got grown, the linen suit, boy, that James L. Knight Center fit.
That James L. Knight Center fit.
James L. Knight Center fit, dog. Them OG cats with the brown slant. I used to be like, dog, how are you wearing that, dog?
Yeah.
But then I feel like I'm dressed up if I throw on 11s because they patent leather. They shine and you can see yourself in them. Look at your shoes. Look at my shoes. Who more dressed up right now?
Who fresh?
You know what I'm saying? Who are playing this? Who is fly? Who is got on dress clothes?
I don't care if they like Gucci. Nigga, them shit is terrible. Like I'm gonna wear these black and red foes. I'm gonna wear these Harajis, or I'm gonna wear these
LA. I'm finna order me some black and red fours. I've been seeing they keep popping up in my face.
I got 4 pair. I got a pair that I wear, and I got 3 pair on ice. But It's
Black?
like, yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga.
Oh, I see. Like, so on ice, that's another a conversation about that we can have. They literally need to be on ice to keep them from falling apart, dog.
Hey,
Or
dog,
like step around in them every few.
you gotta treat them like a Willie Mammoth.
Yeah, you gotta like
Breed them hoes and
turn
tell
the cell off, like no
Yeah.
more, because they will fall apart. Because nowadays, I ain't saving nothing. If I'm saving something, it's for a particular occasion. It ain't for like down the line for no resale. I did that thing and I had 35, 40. I looked at my collection the other day. Go this way. Now, this is all that is left
of the church. Bam.
That's all that's left from the purge, dog. From 70 pair.
Yeah.
That's all that's left. And it's like, I didn't get to enjoy wearing those things. Some of them, I looked at them, I was like, oh, you weren't gonna never wear those. But nowadays, I'm buying stuff that's fly and I'm stomping them things. They going in the streets and people gonna be like, oh, you're wearing those?
Now I'm wearing them. It's just I like black and red foes so much.
Right.
I wear them, like I wear them, but it's just like, okay, so when these get beat, I can just go pull another pair out. And when these get beat, I can just go pull it. It's like I got a partner. This nigga got like 8 pair of Jordan 1s, black and red. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy Moses.
So you can
so many pair of 1s, and he like, and it's strictly black and red 1s because he like, I wear these. But the one is just the one shoe that the older it get, the better it look.
Yep. People try not to wear them in an effort to not beat them. But when you beat them,
yeah.
They feel better and they look just as good. They even look better. Like that worn look on them. Like that's why I like the sale, what they call it, the sale midsoles.
Yeah.
But that age midsole that Virgil doing and that Nike doing. I like that because that's where it's going. And it makes it easier to wear it early because you ain't like trying to keep it white. It's like it's already where it's gonna be.
I look at it like leather, like the stress. So that's why when niggas talk about sneakers, they want that tumble leather, you know, that pebble leather. So when that bitch, because a lot of foes, when you cop them, they may have like a little pre-crease in the toe box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that tumble leather, like remember Obsidian foes, that pebble tumble leather that was on them bitches.
Obsidian would be the white and blue ones.
White and blue, yeah.
I just started with them on today, and I was like, I need those. Were the
you need them again.
Those were the first ones that I messed up, and I was mad that I had messed them up beyond. Like I started hooping in them, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I should start like keeping these things, and that was the beginning of me
hoarding.
Yeah, hoarding.
Hoarding.
Myself collecting. I was hoarding, dog.
Hoarding them bitches.
Hoarding.
And I think I went to work. I went to work like 2 weeks ago, and it was a Friday. On Fridays, that's when I get to show off the kit collection. But but it's the summer, so I was like wearing kicks like every day. You know what I'm saying? Every day. So I remember I walked in the office one day. And this lady say, damn, like I started like watching you, like to see when you was gonna repeat a sneaker. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's kind of creepy, but whatever. But she was like, man, I literally counted like you went like a month and a half and ain't wear the same shoe twice. And I was like thinking to myself, like, that's really kind of light, because when you think about a month and a half, you thinking 5 days a week.
Yeah.
That's only like 20, that's only like 30 pair of sneakers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So 30 is light, especially.
I got 30 pair that I don't like wearing.
Exactly. Like that.
I'm like, I pass over those and I go to these.
But then I take pride in because I remember like growing up, a nigga ain't have a bunch of sneakers, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like the Gerard Carmichael joke. Like, you ever seen 8? You ever seen Gerard Carmichael stand up called 8? And he be like, every kid in a new pair of Jordans, you know, it's some hurt behind it. Like, who hurt you? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a story behind it.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't in a couple of years, but I do, now that you say that, I do remember that part.
And when he said it, that shit resonated so much because it was
Yeah,
like
I got a story behind mine, behind all.
every time,
Yeah,
every
like
time.
the reason why I get all of mine is because I saw something. I was in the lunchroom at Pines Middle School, and it was summertime. I was sixth grade going to seventh grade. Now, sixth grade, I wanted shoes, but I really was still like a jit. I want them, but I beat them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I wasn't trying to be fly. I was like, give me these. Oh, I got them. Outside playing in them. I saw sevens, Bordeaux sevens on this cat feet. And I was like, I need those. And like, I want those. So I
right.
immediately went and told the old girl, you know what I'm saying? I want these. Had to wait Christmas, got sevens. I got Cardinal sevens, and I got the Braptor sevens. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it was easy to
They
get
cost
shoes.
right. They didn't come out on Christmas. I went and looked at like when I did the Survivor series on the shoes for the channel. Like they didn't come out on Christmas.
Nah, dog. You could
You
get
know
you
what
could get
I'm saying?
shoes 2 months after they drop.
Right. And then I ended up getting Olympic sevens. That was so I had 3 pairs of sevens. That was what set it off. From there, she was like, the next pair you get, you gonna buy. Son. Plotted on a job at Foot Locker. From then, it was a done data, boy. I was fully engulfed, swimming deep in the waters of sneaker culture. But didn't even know what I was doing, but I was creating a lane for what is now $1 billion thing, dog. You
Let
was
me
just
tell you. And that's funny you talk about sevens because my brother he played basketball for Central, and I remember nigga, he had a job at like Bird Eyes or some shit. Niggas may not remember Bird Eyes, but Bird
yes,
Eyes is what is now fucking Macy's, all the Bird Eyes and
those
fucking.
are bird eyes there. They probably
So
cold.
he had a job at Bird Eyes. He probably was like in the 10th grade or 11th grade or something like that. And the nigga had bought some Reebok black tops, which we had conversation about. But he played basketball for Central. So I remember when he copped Jordan Foles, like they whole team was like, we gonna wear Jordan Foles, right?
Whole team.
The whole team was wearing Jordan Foles. So I remember when he came home, dog, keep in mind, them Jordan Foles was $100,
Yes.
which in 1989 was a lot of money, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying, or 90 or whatever the fuck. But I remember when he came home with the box and he opened them things up, and I was like, damn, them motherfuckers hard. But that wasn't, I didn't fall in love with sneakers at that time. I just remember seeing the folds and I was like, damn, them hard. And I remember going to the games and watching Central come out and enjoying folds, like all black folds. Like, so
Stunning.
stunning. So then go down later. I'm at Holmes Elementary. I'm in Liberty City, and I had a friend named Randy. You know what I'm saying? And we in Liberty City. And Liberty City, like with any hood, you're gonna have, and we like in the 5th grade, 6th grade. So you're gonna have the niggas like me who was wearing like Pro Wings and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was in some niggas don't even know about Pro Wings, but it was like Payless brand of sneakers. You know what I'm saying?
British Nikes, boy, British Nikes. I took my old girl to Tonics because I needed some shoes. But people had on fresh shoes, and she had some purple Tonics. I was like, oh,
Fresh shit.
I'm wearing your shoes, mom.
I'm wearing your shit.
Sixth grade. You have fresh shoes. I know. You wear the same size now.
I'm wearing those. So I remember like probably like the 5th, 6th grade. It was the 6th grade when sevens came out. We was like in the 6th grade. So I remember when the Bordeaux came out, and I was like, damn, that shit's hard. But I knew I wasn't gonna get them. And then I remember like when the Cardinal, not when the Hair Sevens came out. You know what I'm saying? And I remember we went on spring break and we came back, and my friend Randy, he had the Hair Sevens, and it was like them motherfuckers look like if you see a pair of Hair Sevens brand new out the box, them shits look like
Pretty.
got like a glow to them.
Yeah, they're a very pretty shoe.
That colorful bottom and
Red, green,
purple.
Yeah, it is a very, very pretty shoe.
Man, it's a nice shoe.
On them, or that new buck, whatever that is. It's a very, very pretty shoe. Make me
So
want
I remember coming back out of spring break, and I see my dog Randy, and this nigga got on like some red, some black shorts. I never forget. And nigga had on some red socks with the fucking Hair Sevens. That shit looked amazing.
Mm.
And he had on like a white polo. You know what I'm saying? Like a white polo shirt with a red horse. And I was enamored with how fucking good the shoe looked.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like something clicked in my head because I like shoes, but it was like I couldn't afford them, so I wasn't really paying. I was paying attention to what was dropping, and it was kind of like I was looking at them, daydreaming. Like I was literally daydreaming. Like I remember University of Michigan when Jalen Rose and the Fab Five came out with the first pair of Huarache flights.
Yeah, them flights.
And I was like, oh shit. And then I remember I'm watching the Heat game and Ronnie Cycli playing in them motherfuckers. And I was like, boy, I need them shits. I need them fucking shoes. It was kind of like you could see the sock.
Yeah.
That was my like thinking behind Huaraches. Like you could see the sock. Like you could see this little
Huaraches, when they first came out, it was a space shoe.
Oh man.
It was a space shoe, dog. I forget the name of that shoe that had the strap. It was like a Huarache, but it had a strap. It came in like a green and purple.
That was a Huarache.
That was
that in fact, before that was the Huarache trainer.
right.
So you had the Huarache Flight, which was the basketball shoe, and you had the Huarache trainer that had the olive green. So let me tell you a quick story. My homeboy Marcus Fleming, dog, when I was in middle school, I'm in Coconut Grove going to Ponce de Leon, and then the other homeboy Lester, this nigga Ant-Man, this nigga had every shoe. Like we was jits. This nigga had every. I remember this nigga came to the boys club with some Air Rays and a David Robson jersey on. It was like this nigga was the freshest nigga. Hey, but I remember this nigga came with them Huarache trainers on with the purple strap with the green lining, and this nigga had on a purple Tommy Hilfiger shirt with the fucking olive green collar.
And them Huaraches.
Bruh, it was the crazy. The sneaker like I don't like the sneaker shit, like how we see sneakers today, like how we saw sneakers back then, it's kind of like rap shit.
Yeah, it was
when you saw a sneaker, you was like, what?
Literally was watching classic albums drop and classic shoes drop in your childhood, in your formative years, for you. All of that stuff was targeted for you. That's why today, while that stuff is still fly, you can't forget the fact that you are still fly because it was for you. It got fly because of us.
Yeah.
Because of our age group, because of our people, because we took that and was like, oh, there it is.
Hey, it's a Pete Rock and CL Smooth video. I know I'm going all over the fucking place. It's a Pete Rock and CL Smooth video, right? Called Straighten It Out. You remember that song? Straighten It Out. Yeah. It's a song they did about niggas bootlegging.
But I find it and play it.
Play it. But the song is in reference to like bootleggers. This is in the 90s. They talk about,
I know that song.
Yeah. So
I heard them talking about that song.
And in the video, they walking down the street like kicking over bootlegger stands and shit.
Yep.
But in the video, Pete Rock got on these white and blue trainers.
It started with a funky drum on that thing.
What?
Oh, I know that. Oh, I know this song. Yeah.
You got to know that. That's the saying. That's the Troy, when they reminisce over you, all that shit. That's the same album, but
yeah. So I know that song because I just listened to that. I ain't listened to that album. Listen to Pete Rock tracks. I was listening to Pete Rock tracks because
Pete Rock is the other.
Yeah. We gonna go too far, but
yeah, we gonna go too far. But just real quick, Pete Rock had on some white and blue trainers in that video, and when I saw the video, I was like, damn. They look like Huarache trainers, but they don't have a strap. And they was cross trainers. And I remember going into Westland Mall and how I lived and walking in a Foot Locker. And by this time, now I'm getting shit. Like I'm getting Nikes, I'm wearing Cortezes, all this shit. I got Cortezes in every color. I'm getting strong.
I'm getting stuff.
I'm getting strong.
Stuff, boy.
I'm in red leather Cortezes. I'm in black suede Cortezes. I'm in trainers. I'm in Bo Jacksons. I'm getting strong. I go into the Westland Mall and I see them fucking trainers that Pete Rock got on. They white and blue. Beautiful shoe. I think them motherfuckers was like 120. I ended up buying them shits. And it was just like my favorite shoe. Like Huaraches was like my favorite shoe. Huarache Flight, Huarache trainers. I love them. I held them shits over Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always kind of like, I ain't need to have a popular shoe. I just needed to have the right shoe. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's always a shoe that you going, because like Jordan was obviously the icon shoe, but in order to truly be fly, you find nuggets. You might find you go mining for pieces of gold inside them rocks and be like, oh, boom, people know about it, they see it, but they don't see it like you see it.
Exactly.
Like you put it on. You know what I'm saying? Now,
as I got older, I had people like, you got one of the most diverse sneaker collections. Like I'm gonna see you in Asics.
You do.
I'm see you in some Diodoras.
Yeah,
now people don't understand that my appreciation for wearing like shit like that is because I couldn't afford Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was younger, so I would.
You make your way.
So I would wear shit that was fancy. Yeah. So then as I got older. And then I could afford Jordans. I still had a love for Diodoras. I still had a love for Asics. I still had a love for all like Wallaby Clarks and all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I had Clarks. I ruined them at a football game running on the field. I had gum bottoms on them things. They immediately turned to football bottoms.
Hey, you need to get you some more Clarks. You gotta have.
Give me some Wallies. I actually looked at some in the past 6 months. Like, it looked at some to see about checking to see if I wanted to grab a pair.
You gotta get them.
Now I'm just pacing myself and you know what I'm saying, grabbing the wheel. Like I've been grabbing stuff for this fam Jackson thing. You know what I'm saying, grabbing a couple to represent for my alumni. My alumni color blocking and color scheme, colorway. You know what I'm saying?
Let's switch gears. So the FAMU Jackson State.
Now we're gonna save that one because we ain't gonna we'll switch gears. Like we'll be this thing.
You're gonna wait till after the weekend.
Not yet. Well, we'll address what we gonna try to accomplish before the weekend. We'll talk about it before it happens. But we definitely want to do that. But I did say that before we get out of here, I want to talk about Carl Winslow from Family Matters. Yeah. Kind of bring it back there, and then we're gonna jump and wrap this thing up. But so, like I told you, I've been watching movies from the 90s. I watched Die Hard the other night. Die Hard actually came out, I believe it was 88. I believe, because I looked it up. Die Hard came out, Carl Winslow was in it. He played the police officer who he was corresponding with back and forth in the building. You know what I'm saying? As he was knocking out terrorists who were German at that time. They weren't really making, you know what I'm saying, Middle Eastern terrorist movies before. But from that, I have a hypothesis that was kicked off Carl Winslow on Family Matters as a police officer on the show. Like he got off Die Hard. Character in a police uniform, and they was like, I think we can do something with you.
He got typecasted.
Yeah, he got typecasted, dog, as a heterosexual male. You know what I'm saying? With a family, but so I was like, dog, Carl Winslow got put on by Die Hard. Is that
Bruce Willis?
And Bruce Willis and Die Hard. So that's that. But yes, Marley Minded Podcast and Tony Beers and this bitch.
Put Tone at, man. This nigga.
I tried to get Tone. I don't know if Tone got the link of time. Tone been busy, but we gonna get Tone back in the building so we can chop it up about the Orange Blossom Classic. Tone's supposed to be coming down. Thank you for coming through. We got new intro, outro music. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Thank you for coming through, chopping it up for a minute with us, man. It's the Marley Minded Podcast. I am Young Goob, the God, and Viz. You can find me at Marley Minded on IG. You can find me at Marley Minded TV on YouTube. You can also find me at James Goob Marley or James Goob Bevel on Facebook. If you're watching it, then you already know where you can find me. And anything you want to drop on the people before we get out of here?
Nah, man, just happy to be back.
Word up. Happy to be back. We doing this thing like this every time.
And I'm gonna win a Pulitzer. No.
Oh, and we got Pulitzers coming up on the team for my dog. Stay tuned. That's the plan. Be easy. Oh, Lord.